Good day everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm doing a little video on the gifting event and in particular making sure you've got enough units in order to be competitive within the gifting event. Now, as a lot of you know, since I decided at the start of the year I wasn't going to spend in game, it does mean that a lot of the units that I normally would kind of like buy within game for things like the gifting event and also Cyber Weekend needed to be grinded out from different places in the game. Now, I've done a video on that one and this is what this video is not about. What this video is about though is about preparing the right amount of units in order to remain competitive, especially if you're a non-spending player in the game. Now, I did ask 2 weeks ago for information on the following. How many units did you trade and what was your total rank in the gifting event 2021? Now, I got to be honest, I didn't get a lot of information that I was hoping to get, which does mean it's going to be difficult to kind of present something when it comes to a video. I think some people didn't really understand like what that meant for some reason, and I did get some kind of like weird responses. But I got some brilliant responses in other places, and especially on Discord. So what we're going to do is do a little spreadsheet that looks at points, looks at certain things that accumulate points, and kind of give us a point of reference as to how many units you are going to need to get in order to, you know, utilize best in the gifting event. But the first point I'm going to make is that, like, say for the Cyber Weekend deals, that's probably the first thing. If they're anything like they were last time, it meant you were able to access better deals and in particular, like, better choice at what you wanted to get and where you wanted to go. It was even like good thing because you were able to choose a specific type of 6-star crystal, and that was kind of like, well, not specific, but you were able to kind of get like a champion selector. So for some people, like even in this year, Kabam do a 2021 one, like that could be good. People are instantly getting Hercules. They're instantly getting champions like, I think, Kitty Pryde and that one. So there's lots of key champions. It could even be like, well, I don't think it's going to be 2022 thus far because it just won't make sense. But it definitely will be a chance to get in the 2021 champion. So you get more choice. You get definite. And that's what we like to see. But in any case, let's cut to the chase and get down to business. And that is all about point acquisition, if I can speak properly. Acquisition is important. Volume is important as well. And let's face it, greater gifting crystals are going to give like 3,000 points a time. That was what the points were last year, so the 2021 gifting event. And let's face it, 300 units a time is very expensive. Is there any other kind of like different breakdowns of what you could do? I mean, I did a quick sum of like what you could do for the same value as a greater gifting crystal and you get greater arena boost crystals. I think it would give 2,600 points. So it's still, you know, 4,000 points off of getting a greater gifting crystal for 3,000 points. So there's a little bit of a divide with it, and let's face it, a lot of us are going to be interested in getting those spicy little kind of like greater gifting crystals. So a lot of people will be trading them or kind of focusing them on the trade. So to give you a full extent of the breakdown, I'm just going to like throw like some info. Now, do bear in mind the info that you're going to see on screen. There's a few things to mention with it, and it's a case of like the problem with creating a video like this is getting definite information when it comes to people saying how many units they potentially spent, like a definite, versus the points that they take home. There's been some great screenshots, but at the same time trying to kind of triangulate and put in correct data and finding correlations is a very, very difficult thing to do. But I definitely think there are schemes and things that are kind of ringing very true with facts and information. So one thing that is a definite fact is the following: these two images right here. So shout out to Damo and as well to Indo. I call that's a long name. Indola. I say Indolo. Indolo. So Indo put up 111,000 points, and also Damo put up 142,000 points. Now, they both are kind of like saying they can't 100% remember, and that's okay. Like, I'm not asking people to work miracles with it. Some people remember, some people don't when it comes to it. And also, like, we did have some info here in this kind of like image about where things come in, and again, the correlation with points. Now, again, the reason that there's some kind of issue with points and getting it 100% accurate is the following here. So, for example, 10,200 units, so there, is the equivalent to 34 greater gifting crystals, which give back 102,000 points. Right. And Dane and Indo were unsure of how many units they spent as to the points they got back. And that puts a little bit of an issue because they thought they might have had about like around about the 8,000 mark, but it could be more than what they kind of like thought they originally put up. Now that the difficulty is, as I said, where we come in with greater gifting crystals and the points to give back. Because again, if we're looking at what is 1 to 5% for 142,000 or 111,000 points for 1 to 5%, that is not coming close to that 102,000 unit spend, which gives 34 Grandmaster greater gifting crystals. God's sake, I honestly need to kind of read properly. Maybe I should just call it greater gifting crystals. 102,000. So there's a little bit of an issue here with that one. And as to like, well, because again, memory, I'm not saying like, the problem is just like trying to remember some of this stuff is difficult. And that's why I said like it's great to have this kind of info, because then what we can do is prepare. Now Visigoth got a lot of the information that we saw in the little kind of like breakdown, a little bit part of the spreadsheet on the right, and said that they put in 28,545 units and got positioned 1% to 5%. Now again, basing on these kind of potential conflicting reports of the extent of unit spend or unit trading, because that's the thing, from a free-to-play standpoint, you'll be trading these units, you'll be also grinding out for these units. It does really kind of put into perspective, like, look, 10,200 units is what you might need to grab. If you wanted to get some good deals from the Cyber Weekend deals, then you might want to put up 18,000. There could be a case that you would need to save up 28,200 units between now and the end of the year. And do bear in mind, as soon as the gifting event starts, you can really get an idea of like, okay, well, how things are really going to go. Like, do bear in mind, it's a different world, like a different world this year than it is last year. And people's spending habits may have actually gone down. I think it's always a good kind of thing to kind of look at where Cyber Weekend is first. Benchmark that as to like where people are when it comes to like spending habits as well as grinding habits. Spending habits is more of a thing that impacts on the gifting event rather than Cyber Weekend, because it doesn't mean anything by top spending. It gives you a top rank of anything. That's more the gifting event. And depending on how you feel about the extent of gifting event, this is down to a personal preference whether or not you're going to be interested in both events. For me, I'm interested in both events, as a lot of you know, and as I've said in this video already. Because I'm non-spending, I've got to go out and grind the units, and I've got to go and grind out the units in Arena. Now that's something I'm fine and happy to do, and I've got to like schedule in a bit more time in order to do that on a regular basis in order to hit targets. First target, hit 18,000. Second target, hit upwards of 30,000 units by, you know, the start of the gifting event, or at least kind of a good chunk of the way, and then kind of like gather the rest of it towards the end of the gifting event. And do bear in mind, you'll have in the early parts of December, which is about December 14th, all the way through to like the early part of January in order to grind extra units. And I'll probably do a video like then to kind of go, look, what do you want to do? Do you want to get this amount of units and have like an extra 3k or whatever before the end of the event, and kind of like stuff like that. But it does put into perspective what you want to achieve. And also, I plan to be down 1,000 units because I'm going to be getting one of the deals, so I better go and do stuff like this. One of those deals is the Cavalier deals, by the way, the Cavalier uncollected deal that you get. But you know, just scoop up some of these units, and we'll see what happens, you know, closer to the time. But good luck in the grind. Good luck if you're going to be like setting out a unit grind guide. I've done plenty of those on the channel. I may do one more, but you know, there's going to be a very little kind of like point to that until we hit things like Cyber Weekend and everybody's kind of like without stuff. But something I would kind of point out is like, it's a risk. The gifting event's always a risk. Whether or not you're looking to go, right, Cyber Weekend, 18,000 units, boom, I'm kind of cleared of stuff. And it's like, okay, well, I've got an extra 3k, I've got an extra 4k, 6k, 10k units. I could grab maybe a few more deals because like I've gone one particular route. Do I hold on to them? Do I grab something else? And look at the value. Look at what last year the value was, what you got from the rank rewards. Maybe look at what you could achieve with that one on, you know, 2022. But do bear in mind, again, that's a further risk with it as to where you spend your units. But it's the gifting event, right? It's good vibes. It's fun. You never know what you're going to get from a greater gifting crystal. To be honest, you might even get a lot more spice for your spend in those. 34 potential greater gifting crystals that could give you like a huge amount of like boost to your roster. You could get some duff stuff. It's all the fun of the moment of Christmas. Thanks again to those that got involved and helped out with the preparation of the video. Bits of interesting information which I'll leave in the description down below if you want to check them out, from points acquisition and kind of like what the thresholds are, but we'll be kind of covering that at a later basis when it comes to that. But preparation is key. Prepare those units if you dare. Bye bye for now.